Hey guys, this is Coach Gio. I am a fitness trainer, a former competitive bodybuilder, and an online influencer. If you're following the channel already, thank you. If you're viewing it for the first time, hey, take a peek. I think you'll like it. This segment, I'd like to pay homage to the folks that inspired me, the techniques that I've kept, and the type of philosophies that I have evolved through the years of training, competition, and now helping other folks achieving their goals. Today, I'd like to talk about an influencer for my life. And again, you got to remember where I'm coming from. Back in the 80s, the golden era, those were my people. We're talking Arnold Schwarzenegger, Frank Zane, Franco Columbu. And the guy I'm going to talk about today, Mike Mentzer. You're thinking, all right, who's this guy? If you've heard about him, great, I tip my hat to you. If you haven't, this guy is responsible for his version of HIIT. By the way, HIIT came from Arthur Jones back in the 70s. He's the one who actually influenced the way modern machines look. Nautilus being his brand is what first introduced into the United States back in the 70s. What Mike Mentzer did was adopted Arthur Jones' philosophy and came out with his own philosophy.
Let me give you the rationale. The positive portion of any exercise, the lifting of the weight, is the least productive in terms of stimulating an increase. Why? Because it's the weakest part of the movement. You cannot lift nearly as much weight as you can hold, and you can't hold as much weight as you can lower. On top of that, positive, or the lifting of the weight, is a negative in that it is the one portion of the exercise that makes the deepest inroad into recovery ability. That is a negative. What I've been having my clients doing is holding the weights in the fully contracted position for up to 15 seconds. And then once they recognize their static strength is about to go, they start lowering the weight very slowly. And the results I'm achieving are literally phenomenal.
A great majority of the benefit to be derived from weight training is had from the negative aspect of the rep, that is lowering the weight.
He says, in terms of heavy duty training, reaching relative failure, using intensity, which means you're going to use negative training, which is what we're specifically going to talk about. And then, of course, limiting volume by doing, in his case, he says, one set, all out, bang, you're done, which is great. Maybe in your youth, you're not going to do this longevity-wise because clearly there's some negative implications to doing that. So let's talk about this in terms of heavy-duty training, specifically negative training. Negative training, there are three phases to that component. You've got the concentric move or the positive move. Let's take bicep, for instance. That's the pulling up. That literally is about 4 seconds or so to bring it up to full contraction. You have the static hold, which is a big component of this, where you're holding the weight in that position for anywhere from 5 to 10 seconds. And then you begin the most important phase, the eccentric load, which is the negative portion of the move, and that is the most important portion of negative training. What I'd like to do next is employ this at the gym floor to show you exactly what I mean. Let's go there. So what does negative training look like? I will show you this the way I do it, but I like to dovetail other techniques. So we're going to do a drop set technique incorporating negative training and then dropping the weight and going into a volume style rep range to get the full spectrum of high intensity, full with volume, so that I'm looking to squeeze a sponge and get as much effort as I can, reaching the intensity goal that I'm always after for every set. Again, 12 to 15. On a higher rep range or higher weight range like this, I've got like 115 pounds. I'm gonna end up dropping the 45-pound plate to do the drop. But the negative, typically if I'm working with a partner, I'll have this person grab that weight, bring me in the loaded position, and then begin the negative training. Since I'm working without, I'm gonna do this myself, which I can muster to do. Again, brace yourself inside the machine. And of course, if you're actually using machine, it's a matter of using the pin, which is even better. But for visual purposes, we'll do it this way today. So I'm gonna bring it up into the static hold position. I am squeezing the life out of my biceps right now. I've got my elbows in, approximating my armpits. Again, I'm looking for the inner bicep, which really you can't be that selective, but if I'm talking to you, clearly I could go a lot heavier. Now I'll begin the negative eccentric portion. And again, I'm looking 10 to 15 seconds and ride this puppy all the way down. When your forearm is parallel to the floor, now the real work begins. Slow this thing down. Really work toward the end. That's negative training. I'm going to incorporate drop set. And again, this is one set. Now I'm looking to go 12 to 15 reps. I'm gonna make it even more interesting by putting myself in a position that is not conducive to ergonomics. I am literally hanging from my armpits. Again, elbows in. I've hit 12. Now, I'm gonna push to 15. Yes, these are half reps. But again, your muscle doesn't know. And frankly, I don't care, because I'm looking for intensity. Yeah. That is set 1 of 5, just like that. You vary the weights, but you get after it every set. Intensity, contraction, and volume. That's how this works. So it's Gio. We're in the middle of arm day. Just completed bicep training. We're now moving on to tricep. Again, we're talking about heavy duty training, Mike Menser style. Again, we're incorporating a particular technique he uses is negative training. He is the godfather of that technique, of which I've endorsed in my entire career. What I'm gonna do is utilize the bench press or chest machine by Life Fitness. I'm gonna modify this machine for my purposes. Again, the disclaimer, this is what I do. I do not endorse it for you. This is what you wanna do if you wanna take the risk. And I have to say that, I'm sorry, but this is the way it looks. I'm gonna do a drop set technique using this bar to modify my bench grip. Again, close grip bench is what I'm looking to do. I'm gonna use the pull down bar, place it inside of the machine. It's got just enough of a grab so that it will stay in its position, but know that it will slip unless you are in control of the bar. Don't make a mistake. Make sure that you've got this thing loaded properly. I've got heavy weight on here, in this case the stack. Normally I'd have someone help me to bring this up in the loaded position. I don't have that option today, so I'm gonna put it up there myself. I've got the seat all the way up because I wanna focus on lower chest and inner tricep, because again, it's arm day focus. So this is what it looks like for the negative training portion of it, and then we'll drop set and do a volume portion. So I'm in the loaded position, static hold. From here, slightly bend the elbows. This is the working phase. Hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. Then begin the eccentric move back to its resting position. I am working like hell. Think of this as not stopping the bus. I'm simply slowing the bus down. Breathe through it. Really control the descent. Yeah. From here, you're gonna drop. I like to do about a 50% drop. Again, get back into the same position. Make sure the bar is secure. Close grip. Again, the fist should be at the armpit line or closer if you can manage it. Again, looking for the inner head of that tricep. Keep your elbows tight. Another great tip is to bring your butt to the edge of the seat. Again, approximating a decline position. You can employ a 2-second up, 4-second back to control the descent. Again, rep range 12 to 15. That is set 1 of 5. drop set, negative training to begin, finishing with volume 12 to 15 reps. Beautiful combination. Let me know what your thoughts are. Keep going, keep growing. Hey, Coach Gio, we're talking about negative training, Mike Menser, heavy duty training. This is a subsegment of his philosophy, of which I've always loved and have included in my repertoire since the beginning of my time. We're doing arm day today. Shoulders is what I can do. I can literally do this with dumbbells. I've chosen to show you guys what I do on the machine because I tend to manipulate the machine to my benefit. So what we're gonna do is first set this up for success. I'm gonna bring the seat up, high position. I'm gonna bring these down so that once I sit in it, I'm already in the loaded position. I don't wanna just sit and there's nothing happening, right? So I've got a relatively heavy weight, got 130 pounds as my high. This is what I'm gonna do my negative with. And before you start hating on me, no, I'm not gonna bring it all the way up because again, it's a heavy ass weight. I don't have people to help me to bring up the weight. So even a half rep with a static hold will do exactly what I want it to do, which is pre-exhaustion intensity, so I can set myself up for the volume run on the drop. So this is what it looks like. These are the handles that normally you would grab. I do not do that. I grab the bar itself. Like I said, I sit myself in so that once I'm sitting, I'm already in the loaded position. Why? Because I've got this in position 2. Thirdly, I'm gonna bend over to accentuate the rear shoulder action in this exercise as opposed to what the machine dictates, sitting upright and activating only the outer head, which we know is the least volume of this entire complex. I really want that cannonball look, so I'm gonna focus on rear head. What this negative portion looks like, again, load, bend over, stay in the static position for at least 5 to 10 seconds. Once that's accomplished, start the eccentric or negative move. Draw this out at least 10 to 15 seconds. Control the descent. Once that's reached, drop the weight. And on a machine like this, it's real easy to do. You can power through it just like that. On the second half of this drop, 12 to 15 is the rep range. Again, bend right over, grab the bar, not the handles. Think about the target muscle, which is rear shoulder. You will activate lateral shoulder as well. But again, looking to string that sponge out, really wring it out, concentrate, bend over. Yeah. And at the end, I'm starting to fail. That's fine. I'll get half reps in, 3/4 reps, whatever it takes to hit my intensity goal. That is my primary directive. Yeah. That's set 1 of 5 for this exercise. Look for me on YouTube. Follow me on all platforms. GeoFit Official. Keep going, keep growing.